Josh Hicks here, and today we are going to be talking about the second of the 3 series videos that we're going to be covering today. Now, we just went over question-based sales and the importance of that. Now, check us out for more information over recruiterclass.com, and you can get into a lot more details about what we're doing. We're doing some brief overviews. Hopefully you found some value in this last video, and you're going to find some value in this one guaranteed, because this is a game changer if you can actually make it work. Now, we're talking about what and how I help recruiters make more recruits, even no matter what the market is doing. And this is setting you aside question-based sales of finding out what is motivating them, what their emotions are getting to, what is really driving them to talk to you in the first place. We talked a little bit about how to build that relationship and set yourself apart. But we're number 2 video, we're going to be talking about building value and the importance of that. Now, we're not going to be able to get into all the psychology and everything that you can do here, but I'm going to give you a brief overview of what to do, and you can take it from there. Now, what is it that you are going to be able to give a candidate that's different than anybody else when you're talking to them about a job? You've got thousands of people out here trying to call them about a job. It's a 97% turnover rate, which is you're probably here looking at this because of the evergreen opportunity of driver recruiting, and which we're talking about that sector in recruiting in this series. Now, what we find is that if you're building value, what does that actually look like? So a lot of people think I'm going to have value because I have this part of the job that I can offer, or I can say this little detail about this job it's a little bit different. But what you're doing is you're actually stabbing in the dark out there as trying to offer them something, because majority of carriers, good carriers out here, are looking at each other and they're tweaking their systems to be very close. So there's these fine little detailed things that are actually setting those companies aside, but that really, in a lot of cases, it's not a whole lot of difference. Some of them may have, a little bit better benefits. Some of them just a little bit better pay, but you might see their miles are not as much as this person over here, or maybe their dedicated freight is not as good. Their contracts are not as strong. These kind of things you can talk on, but a lot of times drivers are not necessarily always really focused on how strong contracts are or what it is. They're looking for that money, as we talked about in the question-based sales. They're looking for that home time. They're looking for things, and so they want to make sure that they've got that. So you're educating them about the options and things that are there, but a lot of times there's got to be other ways that you set yourself aside. I think you'll set yourself aside if you know how to educate them in a way of these programs as well. But you have to go back to that question-based sales. What really brought them to it? You want to always tap into that when you're giving value. And when you're giving value, what is something that you can do that nobody else would do, because it's hard, right? It's what a lot of our agents that have been top agents, they've realized that you have to set yourself aside. Maybe it's a service that you're giving to this driver candidate. Maybe it's something of value that you're keeping up with them. The follow-up system that we talk about in our courses and things like that. Maybe that's setting you aside. That helps. But what initially can you give to them? How can you benefit them in a way? So some of the things, for example, if I was working with a company direct, or our company, for instance, you were working with a company that had a direct contact to somebody over the account, what you're going to talk about is we have communication with them. We back you up. We stick with you. These kind of things. That's a lot of some of the services that you can do. But what is it that you're going to get into their mind that is going to set you aside? And a lot of times we see ourselves win in our team, in our agency. We see a lot of wins because they feel like by the time they get off the phone conversation that they've got so much value, that somebody really cares, they've asked the right kind of question, it hasn't always been business, and we're really giving them something of value. Maybe it's that you're going to get a commission on this thing, and you're going to give them a kickback. Maybe it's giving them value in that way, or talking to them about a referral system that you can really benefit them from. Future things that you can do that set you aside. I can't give you all the answers here because there's a lot that we could cover, but if you want to learn more about what we do, recruiterclass.com, we have a lot of different information that we give out. this right here, if you can figure this out, if you can take some of these things that I'm talking about, hopefully you're finding value in this and will rethink your process when actually talking to these candidates. Because you got to see that most of the time we went into the question-based sales in the introduction side of things. We're going to, you have to pre-screen them, and then that's when you're going to be giving them value. So we're not talking about the pre-screen on these 3 videos, but what we are talking about is that question-based sales, getting yourself equipped with what you need, and then figuring out how to use that and the services that you can provide to that individual to give them long-term value. And value, even if they didn't move, they're going to feel like you would give them value anyways from that conversation. That's what I'm doing here today as giving these videos in these series. It's the same situation. If you can make somebody feel that way and really give that to them, eventually what's going to happen is these drivers and candidates are going to know you, and they're not only going to know you, but they're going to spread the word about you because you're doing something different than anybody else. I hope this gave you value. Recruiterclass.com. Find out more about what we do and why we are what we are out here, being the top agency out here doing a lot of things with drivers. We just hit over 1 million drivers as in our group and network, but we're doing a lot of agents out here that are coming out and really going through this process. So you're getting some key things here, the roots of key things here that we actually work with our agents on. Again, recruiterclass.com, learn more about it, and check us on out over at the other video. We're going to have number 3 coming, and we're going to be covering tone and inflection. And that's a very exciting thing I like to do, because you can have every word in the book and know it, but if you don't have those, then you don't have anything, because it's got to come to life, right? So until then, I'll see you on the other side. Hey, thanks for sticking around. And by the way, you like videos like that, check this out right next to us right here. It's going to be exactly what you need. If you're new, subscribe down below. You'll get updated on all new information coming. And if you comment below, I'm going to be pulling somebody on a monthly to give free coaching away. Looking forward to it. See you on the other side.